YouTube and family, my name is Michaela Deshawn. Welcome back to my channel. You already know I'm back like I never left. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a huge thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. If you're watching right now, I appreciate y'all for tuning in every week. Y'all, we are in month 3 months into the year. We're a quarter into the year and it is flying by. I don't know, does anyone else feel like time is just like almost seems like it's speeding up a little bit? Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. If I'm lying, I'm flying. But I just really feel like time is genuinely like getting faster. I have no idea. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old. Ever since I turned 21, I'm telling y'all, I just feel like I'm bones started cracking and getting old, and I don't know. Anywho, so today, y'all, I wanted to hop on here and tell y'all about a conversation me and Kosi I started to have, right? And so we were in the car and I was telling him about some things that I had been accomplishing, right? Before I continue, please excuse like this nasally sound and like clearing my throat. Let me tell you what happened. So I had some perfume. I went to Target. I was like, oh, this smells good. So I bought it, right? And you know, my skin is very sensitive to sprays, right? But this one was very light. It was very light smelling and stuff. So I bought it, right? I took 2 sprays just to smell it. It smelled delicious. You know, I go about my day. Within maybe like 30 minutes, my tonsils swelled up so big I could barely get anything down. Then I started sneezing like back to back to back. All of a sudden, I'm having some drainage, all from some perfume. So I tried to try it, didn't work out. So that's what that is. I'm not sick, y'all. So I was talking to Kosi and I was telling him about some things I have been accomplishing, right? I was telling him about, you know, some things. I'm like, yo, this is what I've been doing and I'm really excited about it and I'm proud of myself. And then we got into the why I had originally even started doing that, right? And the reason I wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys about self-esteem, and not just self-esteem, but self-love, how we view ourselves, you know what I mean? And so, you know, what is self-esteem? It's how you view yourself, really. It's the definition of yourself. If I were to ask you, Bob, describe yourself to me, Bob, what would you say? You know what I mean? What's the first thing that would come to your mind at your resting state, when you're home by yourself, when you look yourself in the mirror? What are those things that you're repeating consistently back to yourself? Is it I'm handsome? Yo, I look good. I got this, like whatever. Or is it more so a negative connotation? Like, oh my gosh, my eyebrows uneven, like whatever the case may be, right? And so I began to tell him like my whole fiasco with self-esteem. As a kid, I've always had struggled with self-esteem. I've always struggled, and not just with self-esteem, because I feel like that's such a cliche terminology or a cliche term or word that we use, but I've always struggled with how I view myself and view myself in a positive light, you know? And I'll give you guys a little bit of my backstory. So I started off as skinny, you know, and then, you know, I had asthma and started pumping with steroids. I blew up, you know, but I've always been, you know, always had real thick bones and real strong and stuff. But ever since then, I've always had weight. I've always had just chubby. I've always been a chubby kid, right? And so, you know, growing up, middle school, and getting bullied, and elementary school, getting bullied and stuff like that, and all this hoorah hoopla, I've always felt like, oh my gosh, I'm too fat, I'm too this, my head too big, my head bigger than my body, my skin is discolored, you know, I'm getting transparent with y'all. Look, I feel like my skin is like dark here and my neck, and just like I have different like blotches on my arm and different stretch marks and different things I feel about my body, or I feel like you know, I'm shaped weird or whatever the case may be. I've always had a negative thing when it comes to my body, when it comes to me and myself, and not just physically, but how I feel about myself. A lot of times I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I'm inadequate. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel like, you know, I'm not smart enough. I feel like I'm behind. I feel like, man, like these are all the things I feel, but it's a constant thing, you know, even in my resting state. When I think, even on the days I feel like, okay, I feel good today, it hit me like a ton of bricks, like, you ain't worth it. You ain't this, you ain't that. And so these are the things that I've always dealt with, right? And so for the past couple of months, you know, I've been going through this thing where I'm like, you know what? I'm taking charge of my life, not just physically, you know what I mean, or in the natural realm of like, you know, waking up early, getting a routine, blah, 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 but like really being intentional with the things that are catered to me, you know? And so when I was telling Kosi, I was telling him different changes that I had started making in my life, right? And how I even got on the journey to boosting how I feel about myself to alter the way I view myself, right? To boost my self-esteem, for lack of better terms, right? And so I wanted to really talk to you guys how to do that, you know, and how I'm doing it, because I won't say that have reached my maximum capacity of, you know, self-esteem. I feel like everybody could feel better about themselves, or view themselves in a better light, some way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's what I want to talk to you guys today about. So I have my phone here and I wrote some things down, because y'all know me, I'll get to rambling. And so the first thing, when it comes to viewing yourself, what are things that you hear? What are things that are contributing to how you feel about yourself? Whether that's things like your physical nature, like how you look, how you view, or is it more so things like, you know, feelings of inadequate, those emotional type things, feelings of failure, feelings of I'll never be good enough, whatever the case may be. What are those things that are contributing to it? You know, my first piece of advice would be to cut that mess out. Cut it out. So you might be like, well, what do you mean by what are things that are contributing to it? Here it is. So are there people in your life that are reinforcing the negative things you feel about yourself? What do you mean by that? All right, so if I'll give you an example, right? I already feel the way I feel about myself. Let's say Kosi, for example. This is for an example, right? Let's say Kosi every day, consistently, he's like, man, girl, you ugly, you fat, why you doing that? Why you wearing that? Take that off. Girl, why you trying? You ain't good enough. You ain't never gonna be nothing. That's what I mean by negative people. Are there negative things? Are there negative surroundings that is contributing to reinforcing what you already feel about yourself negatively? If there is, I would suggest cutting them off, cutting it off. Are there habits that you participate in that contribute to how you feel about yourself? For example, you know, for years, I would always be on Instagram, social media. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, she's so pretty, or oh my gosh, she looks so good. Why don't I look like that, etc., etc. And almost found myself like consumed with how other people look, consumed with how other people were living their lives, that I wasn't putting any of that energy towards my life. You know what I mean? And so I would suggest cutting that out. Don't do that. If you find yourself, you know, being kind of like so worried about what other people doing, and I wish I had that, and oh, I wish I had that car. Don't do that. Don't even do that. You know what I mean? Get off social media. Instagram can really get some people caught up, because you find yourself, it's almost like a drawing. You like glue you to the screen. Go ahead, delete it. Reinstall it later on when you're in a better mood. But are there habits that you're participating in that are contributing to the negative things that you already feel? If that's the case, I would suggest cutting that off, right? My second piece of advice would be to identify what's making you feel bad. What's making you feel those things about yourself? What does it look like? Is it physical? Is it my head is too big? I don't feel pretty enough. I feel fat, or I feel too skinny. I don't feel like I have enough muscle for my guys, or I feel like I have too much muscle, or I don't have no neck, or I don't got no ears, whatever the case may be. Is it physical? Is that what you feel? Is that why you feel like, you know, you don't want to go out? Or is it more so like, you know, mental, psychological, emotional type? I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not good enough, and whatever. Identify those things. Write those things down. How do I do that? Well, how do I identify? All right, so I'll give you an example of how I begin to really take notice and identify what it is that and why I feel like the way that I do about myself. So there, a couple of weeks ago, me and Coach had been planning to go somewhere, right? Planning to go out, get lit, you know, turn up, have fun, do what we do. And the day of, I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to go anymore. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, why? What's going on? And I was like, no, I don't know. I just don't want to go anymore, right? Didn't want to go. Went right back in the bed, curled up in the ball. But it wasn't like I don't want to go because I want to stay home and watch movies. It was I don't want to go. Like I just felt so like I don't want to go. Like I just feel like, oh, I don't want to go, right? But it wasn't like I sensed danger in my spirit, but just like I just didn't want to go. And so as I was laying in my bed, I was like, you know what is it? Like, what is it that I'm feeling? Like, what's going on? And then I identified the root was I didn't feel like I wanted to go because I felt ugly. I felt like I didn't look like I would look pretty or look beautiful or look presentable how I want to look going to this event. And so subconscious is eating up at me, and I was like, I don't want to go. And so then I took it a step further. I'm like, okay, well, I felt ugly. I felt this, and that's why I don't want to go. And then a lot of instances would begin to happen like that. So I would write them down, and I would write down exactly why, like what was the thing? Is it because this person said my head was big and it made me feel bad? You know what I mean? Do I feel like my head is big? I mean, like really taking notice and taking notes about that. I wrote it down, right? And so as time went past, I'm like, you know what? I don't feel pretty. I don't feel this. Then I took it a step further. I'm like, you know what? Well, when do I feel pretty? Right? Well, when do I feel strong? When do I feel like I have a neck? Or when do I feel like I'm at my best self? And so for me, I feel at my best self when I got my hair done, what little hair I do have. When I got my nails done, when I got my feet done, when I look presentable, when I do my routine, right? So these are things that's how, when I feel at my best self, when I feel good, those are things that I feel like I need to happen, right? Or when my house is not in order, like if there's like clutter, I cannot function. I can't do it. And so that attributes to me feeling like stressed, feeling like just like, oh, I can't do it. And I just feel so stressed out and I feel so like I'm just inadequate. Those things are tributes. So I began to like document those things. And those times when I feel like I'm a failure, I began to write down when I feel like that. You know what I mean? When I feel that overwhelming sense of, oh man, I'm just not good at nothing, man. Everything I touch is falling in shambles or whatever. I wrote those things down. What is it? Is it the actual content? Is it this specific subject matter that I touch? Or is it in general? Or what is it? Get real to the nitty gritty with yourself on some real, like it's a one-on-one, let's powwow, you know what I mean? And I begin to figure out, when I feel like a failure, what's going on in my life? Well, I'm procrastinating. I don't put things off to the last second. I'm stressed out. And because I hold myself to such a high standard, when I fail, right? And really, you can't ever fail. You can only fail if you don't try. But when I fail, according to myself, I feel like such a failure. When I plan for this, and this, and this don't happen, I feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm just such a failure. And that's like the emotion. That's how I always feel. And that's what I take on. And what does it become? It becomes my identity. So instead of these positive terms, I'm ugly, I'm fat, or I'm skinny, I don't got no neck, or I'm such a failure, I'm never good enough, I'm never going to amount to nothing, that becomes my identity. And I'm like, if I were to draw these things, right, I'm sure it would look ugly. I'm sure it would have these ugly colors on it. And so I'm like, well, if this is my identity and that's what I look like to myself, I don't want to look like that to myself. And then I'm like, well, if I look at that to myself, do I look like that to other people? And I'm like, you know what? I don't want this to be attached to me. I don't want to be associated with those things. So I made a decision. Next part is making a decision on whether or not, do you like feeling like that? Do you like feeling down? Because some of us, we like feeling like that. We not like feel like that. I take that back. I don't take it back. I said what I said. But we feel comfortable feeling like that. We feel comfortable feeling down. We feel comfortable feeling sad because we feel safe there. We feel like, I'm here. My life can't get no worse than this, or whatever the case may be. We get comfortable there, and it's like almost like a fear of success, a fear of feeling confident, a fear of feeling like, okay, girl, okay, homeboy, we stepping out. You know what I mean? So I want to encourage you, y'all, if that's something that you're struggling with, I don't know your story. I don't know what you're dealing with behind closed doors. But if that's something that you're struggling with, I encourage you to write things down. I encourage you to cut out outside negativity stuff. There's things that are actually attributing to that. Cut it out. Get rid of it if you can. I encourage you to identify those things. I encourage you to write it down, y'all. Write it down. And then I encourage you guys to let's work step by step. Pick one thing off that list. If you feel better or pretty or handsome when you got your hair cut, or when you got a fresh new tee, when you got your nails done, pick one thing off that list that's attributing to how you feel about yourself negatively and work on it and add that into your schedule. You know what I mean? Add that into your routine. So if it's my nails and my hair and my whatever, all right, I'm gonna get my nails done. All right, cool. I'll make it a mission. If it's a thing of money, start small. Go get you some press-on nails. You know what I mean? Figure out how to cut your own hair. Where there's a will, there's a way. When you have a plan, there is nothing that can stop you, y'all. So after you identify, after you work on it, you know what I mean? Pick one thing and just continuously work on that and help build yourself up. Root yourself on and be patient with yourself. Know that a lot of things don't happen overnight. That's reality. And anybody who tells you that if you just rub the magic wand, it's going to happen. No, a lot of things aren't like that. You know what I mean? Some things are, and hallelujah for the things that are, But some things are not like that. And for the things that are not like that, that's okay. That is okay that it doesn't happen overnight. But be patient with yourself. Don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out before a person has a chance to count you in. You know what I mean? You're already writing yourself off as I'm going to fail this. I don't even know why they would. Whole time, they look at you like, yo, I want them on my team. I want them to be my captain of my team. And then when you get there and they actually pick you, now you're operating from how your view, you know what I mean? Operating, I don't know if I can, woe is me. You know what I mean? As opposed to, you know what? I got this. I mean, I feel like I got it, but you know, I feel good about myself. I look good. I smell good. You know what I mean? I accomplished everything on my list today. And you know what? Even if you didn't accomplish it, celebrate the small wins, y'all. Celebrate the small things. If you have something that you set, let's say you make a plan, right? And I'm about to end this video because I don't want it to run too long. I don't want to hold y'all. But let's say you make a plan, right? You make a plan. And let's say you only accomplish three out of the 5 things out of that plan. You might be like me, I'm bad at that, but oh my God, I'm such a failure. Like, I played for this and this, and I knew I could have did it had I just did that. Oh man, like what in the world? Come on, Michaela, what you doing, bruh? Bruh, you're reinforcing negative energy with yourself. You know what I mean? Don't do that. As opposed to thinking like that, let's think like this. Man, okay, I got 3 out of 5 things done. Okay, at least it wasn't 0. All right. Okay, I probably should have took that way. All right, what can you do better? Once you find what you can do better, make that adjustment, celebrate the small wins, adjust your mindset consistently. It's not just like, okay, my mind is adjusted, but you have to consistently, all right, man, oh my gosh, you know what? It's cool because I got this done. It's cool because, well, I did finish this assignment. I didn't finish my exam, but I finished my assignment. That's one less thing I have to do, y'all. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that it encouraged you guys. I hope that it uplifted you. And I hope that you guys continue to tune in every Thursday, but know that you guys are all beautiful. You guys are chosen. You guys are meant to be here. If you're breathing, if you're talking, if you listen to me right now, if your eyes is blinking, just know that you have a purpose. Now, you may not know what that purpose is quite yet, and that's okay. But while we're on this journey, me and you is on this journey to figure it out. We're going to be the best us, the best you, the best me, the best we that we can be. And I guarantee, just trust God, man. What they say, it's the same, like keep your head down, your eyes up, stay focused, stay on the straight and narrow way. Cut out all the distractions, cut out everything that's not positive in your life, that's not encouraging you, that's not uplifting you, that's not challenging you to do better. Cut it out. Cut it out and keep it pushing. That's how horses wear blinders, y'all, because they're not trying to see what's going on with little Susie, what's going on with little Ray Ray, because at the end of the day, that don't matter. All that matters is what's going on with you, that when all this stuff fades away, it's just you and God. So that's all I have for you guys. I love you guys so much. You are so strong. You're chosen. You're meant to be here. Me and you are on this journey together. Now, you may not know your purpose. I may not know mine. And while we're on our journey to figure it out, you, me, we gonna get it done. But let's encourage ourselves. Let's keep a positive mindset. Let's work on ourselves, because when we believe positive things about ourselves, when we truly believe in ourselves and our self-esteem, and I really don't like using that term, but when our self-esteem is high, how we feel about ourselves, it exudes in everything that we do. You find yourself got pep in your step and everything. And when negative things try to come from the outside in, it's a blocker. It's a blocker. So I encourage y'all. I really hope that this video helped you how to build your self-esteem, how to identify those things you're dealing with, and a little bit of what to do with them, a step-by-step with what to do. So I love y'all. I'm still on this journey to building how I feel about myself, to shifting and altering how I feel about myself to a positive way, to the way that I want to live my life, the way I want to see myself. And I'm on this journey, and I appreciate y'all being on this journey with me. So tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. I love y'all. Be coming with the dope content. I appreciate y'all for supporting. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, and it's only up from there. We're at 97 right now, y'all. So we are three more, and we at 100, y'all. So I appreciate everybody who has subscribed, liked, comment before. I really appreciate y'all. So I hope y'all have a great week. I hope that y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I love y'all, and we out. Bye.